Hey, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of Top 10 Worst Lists. I'm your host for today's edition, holding my pants up. And this basically, let me explain to you what we got here. It's a list including 10 items based on a wide array of categories and subject matters, from the sublime to the ridiculous, from the profane to the profound, from the idiosyncratic to the mainstream, covering all the bases, all different perspectives, and doing everything I possibly can to provide some level of deprogramming for those who have been indoctrinated, brainwashed, engineered into being mindless, obedient drones by a third-party outsourced propaganda ministry that we lovingly refer to as... That's right, you guessed it, the mainstream media. And we're doing everything, I'm doing everything, who's we? I don't know. I'm doing everything I can to possibly provide some sort of perspective on some of the things that, been done to us, victimization. It's part of the, the process of our overlords grinding their boot heels into our throats, and doing everything they possibly can to make it impossible for us to find any way to toss off the yoke of our oppressors. And so I've got a top 10 worst list today. Is really, I don't even know what to say. How incredibly profound and scintillating with its internal integrity at a level that's beyond most integrities. This is a serious amount of integrity I'm talking about here. It's a premium level of integrity. But anyway, before we get on all that, I got a checklist that in order to be able to make this, I'm contractually obligated to go through this checklist of disclaimers and such. Number one, I am not in full control of my faculties. You know what I'm saying? Not all there. The boat has left the mooring. The spaceship has launched its what's the thing? They got the little rockety things that fall off after it gets through the atmospheres. Has lost those, okay? As I've put it before, I'm 23 cans short of a 24 pack. So, with all that being said, and I'm being honest here, I'm doing everything I possibly can to give you the heads up and be as forthright and disclosures and stuff. I can't be trusted. All the stuff I'm liable to say on this endeavor is not to be relied upon. I'm just telling it like it is. There will be things, perhaps, it's very likely, that there will be things that sound plausible. Eric Clapton is a mass murderer. That sounds plausible, right? He killed off Hendrix out of jealousy, and he got used to the taste of human blood, and so he killed off Derek Smalls? No, that's the guy from Spinal. It's the bass player from Spinal Tap. Dwayne Allman, undisputed world's greatest handlebar mustache ever, right? Am I right? I guess he got sick and tired of hearing how great the slide guitar playing was on Derek and the Dominoes' Layla album. And telling everybody, the slide guitar, that was the other guy, Dwayne Allman. And so he killed him off, and then he killed off Stevie Ray Vaughan when he blew him off the stage at Alpine Valley in the late 80s. Whenever the hell that was, I don't remember. And, and such. But I wouldn't trust me. I would go look out that stuff up, and I would go read about it, and maybe watch, if there's any videos, or other people who are calling out Eric Clapton for being a mass murderer and killing off all the other, better guitarists. Look, Eric Clapton is a hack. He hasn't done anything worth listening to in 50 freaking years. And the albums, one after the other, are more boring than the next. Unemotional, like bland. There's a guitar player, a blues guitar player that goes by the name of Bobby Blue Bland. Eric Clapton is Blandy Bland. I mean, this guy is so milquetoast and ineffectual that listening to him sounds like a bus full of blind orphan children flying off the side of the Pacific Coast Highway and into a chasm of certain death. This is the screams, the humanity, it's like nails on a chalkboard, like chalkboards across America. Like if they, instead of hands across America like they had in the 70s, they have chalkboards across America, the chalkboards side to side for the entire country, and people scratching on it with razor sharp talons would be more appealing of a sound than listening to an Eric Clapton album. I mean, there's just nothing there that's worth listening to at all, for starters. And then it gets dull, and then it gets life-threatening. I mean, they frequently have, I've seen it, I think, somewhere, maybe not, but maybe I'm just, deluding myself again. But I think that I might have quite possibly seen a blurb in the Journal of American Medicine, the JAMA, as us, people in the know refer to it as, that Eric Clapton's music is frequently used by anesthesiologists in order to be able to put people off for the really serious and painful operations. I don't know, but I mean, I would look it up. Okay, is what I'm trying to say. I wouldn't trust me. Look at me. Do I look like I'm trustable? Although, once in a while, I am right on the money. But you should take a little time. Hey, what the hell? Why not? They're about to bring in the atomic monsters to wipe out the human race, the AI. Who knows what they're going to be? Battery packed? Sunlight packed by sunlight? Are they going to leave us an opening to maybe destroy the AI cybernetic robots? Maybe through cutting off their power or something like that? Or is it just going to be so overwhelmingly impossible to even touch them that, we're guaranteed a full-on human race extermination level event? I don't know. See, I can't be trusted. I don't know. But it sounds plausible. It certainly seems like it. It seems like something that the billionaire class would do, right? Rather than paying us $8 billion universal basic income checks every month. Here's $5,000, just go do whatever the hell you want for the rest of your life. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do it. So what else are they going to do with us? When all these robots are doing all the jobs and stuff and doing all the thinning around here, Bubble Boy. I don't know. But I certainly don't think that they can keep us around. Why would they do that? We're a bunch of troublemakers. Human race. Jesus Christ. The last thing I would want to have hanging around me is a freaking human race. If I'm out there trying to, finally enjoy my life, where, just a whole series of robots is providing with all the luxury items that I could ever wish for. And just sit back and have, the software packages, create, individualized movies and television and sporting events and everything like that. And then keep a small cadre of humans around for, real life Hunger Games and stuff where we can watch poor people get tortured and die and things and all kinds of cool stuff like that. Other than that, what the hell do you need human race around for? Bunch of whining, complaining jerk-offs. They got to feed them and insure them and provide, healthcare and all kinds of mishy gas. And, give them something to do. Because, they don't get something to do, the human race, man, they're going to start causing trouble. You know it. They're going to be whatever fences that they use to wall in the ultra elite, the the overlords and stuff like that. They're going to be scratching, clawing at the wall, digging under it, trying to go over it, all kinds of different stuff. You know that's what's going to happen. You've seen Manscaped from New York, right? Where everybody's just going like, oh my God, it's just, you think it's going to be controlled, but you can't control it. It's just like this swarm of things. Is always looking for that crack in the armor that they can bust through and, pillage the hell out of everything. Number 2, I'm not partisan. I'm going to say this one more time. For those of you in the cheap seats, you can go ahead and start objectifying groups of people and saying, I hate all of that group. And regardless of what the group is, you're bigoted. Because if you say it's one group and you say they're all brainwashed cult, and if they say that you're all a bunch of effete snobs who, all kinds of bad stuff. Either way, when you're saying about the whole group and you're, whitewashing the whole thing, you're already bigoted. It's, individuals are individuals. If you're anybody, even, if you're projecting people who are evil, and there are a lot of evil people in this world, but they are individual people. And if you start judging people on a block, painting with a broad brushstroke or something like that, no matter what it is, you're denying their individuality. And that you're saying that there's nothing laudable about these people, and you don't even comprehend what type of brainwashing what goes into creating all that hatred. You don't know. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I get together with a bunch of door-to-door encyclopedia salesmen and take copious doses of caffeine mixed with Special K. Not the drug, the cereal that's fully fortified with 100% of all my daily nutritional requirements. And we get together out front of the by the St. Louis Gateway Arch and come up with these lists to try, again, liberate the human spirit. We are in part sponsored by, we being we, I mean me. I am sponsored by the Royal We, the We, by PayPal. Tithe to the church online from the convenience of your own crawl space with the new PayPal. If you don't, we're going to make you eat your own skin. Yeah. Hey, it's about time. You can make your donations on an ongoing basis. You can keep donating all the time, 24/7, like you're on a pilgrimage or something like that. And you get, the more you pay in, the more the premiums get. You get the tote bag, or you could, choose if you want, a variety of premiums. You get the papal staple. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. So anyway, on with the top 10 list. How it is. Oh, this one's kind of perfunctory. I think you should be able to get through it and, get out of here without too much of an imposition on your time. Today's top 10 worst list is top 10 worst famous kids' toys that were never actually invented. I'm not really sure what any of that means. But hey, what the hell? I'm sure it'll make itself apparent as we go through the list. Anyway, here it is. Number 10. The top 10 worst famous kids' toys that were never actually invented. Lego Agent Orange Delivery Vector System playset. That's right. Where you get, you get a squirter, a turkey baster, and you can go deliver Agent Orange to your neighbors, or classmates. Or perhaps if none of that's going to get you off, you could deliver it to your local abortion doctors. Agent Orange him in the face with a turkey baster. Good times. All right, number 9 of the top 10 worst famous kids' toys that were never actually invented. Barbie's Malibu Crack House. Now, I know that a lot of people are going to be like, well, that's probably not an appropriate toy for a kid, but hey, what the hell? We're getting to the point where it's going to be anarchy any minute now. And anarchy will be a phase. It'll be phasing, it won't last long. At some point, they'll have enough robot AI super soldiers and stuff to gather us all up and whisk us off to the death camps. But in the meantime, there might be extended periods of anarchy for months, weeks, months, something like that, in which, all currency, the people won't be able to have jobs because the AI will be doing all the jobs, and all the people will be doing is just sort of fighting amongst themselves for table scraps so they can be the ones to survive the longest. I personally think that I'll be rounded up in the first wave because of all the pontificating that I do in areas and arenas such as this. However, I worry sometimes that, there's going to be a lot of people out there who are sort of cut loose and won't know what to do. It's time that they need to learn some marketable skills in order for them to be able to survive, the pre-human extermination sort of anarchy window. And I think that, there's a variety of opportunities that are presenting themselves. Of course, Barbie's Malibu Crack House, which is a great learning tool. And then there's also the TV show on the new PBS Sesame Streetwalker. And between, these types of things, you need the also Drug Lord of the Rings is another one that, turn all the kiddies on to marketable skills in order for them to be able to survive, the doomscape. Think about, the Mad Max version that has the ones with the things, but think about your kids in there. They're gonna need some kind of marketable skill: drug dealing, drug manufacturing, drug fueled gang smashing crabs, and rampant road warrior styled reverie, and of course, prostitution, all that kind of stuff is going to be like really, essential. So why not start your kids out early with learning about this stuff? I'm not saying engage in it, but at some point they'll be able to recall all the lessons that they learned through owning their own private Barbie's Malibu Crack House and watching Sesame Streetwalker, etc., that they will be able to draw upon when the end times start to reveal themselves. It's all, sure, it seems like merchandising now, like a crass cash grab while they build out the $1 trillion underground bunkers for the ruling elite so they can lock themselves up. Is it Fortnite? Fortnite style? Is that the one with Cave Boy? What's that guy's name? Action Boy? Action Boy. All right, number 8 of the top 10 worst famous kids' toys that were never actually invented. Mr. Potato Chips, a spin-off from Mr. Potato Head. It's the same concept, really, except it's instead of being a baked potato. Who the hell likes a baked potato? Why would they even, at this point, they need to morph that character into something that's has a little bit more currency. Mr. Potato Fries, Mr. Loaded Baked Potato, maybe, or as is the case here, Mr. Potato Chips, because the kids, they totally lost they lost the narrative. Your kids don't know what a baked potato is. Nobody eats a baked frickin' potato anymore, right? If they do, it's going to be slathered with all kinds of garbage. All right, so the top 10, number 7, Easy Bake Meth Lab. And again, going to this, people are going to say that, these types of products are jumping the gun in terms of, how early children should be taught all of this various debauchery. But, the fact is that, time is short. And you don't have to, have them open up their own meth lab now. But, you're sure going to want to have them to have that skill set mastered, at which point they will need to do it. I mean, at some point, some of the only ways that people will be able to survive is blowjobs for cheeseburgers, okay? Meth labs run by barely legal high school dropouts and ne'er-do-wells, and a variety of dystopian, anarchic street gangs run by, you know, characters like the Great Humongous. Just take the gas and walk away. Wait, no, leave the gas and walk away. Walk away. You guys like that running the scene, you better have some marketable skills. Or, it's the same type of thing that helicopter parents do to try to get their kids into good schools. Okay? It's not like you're going to have your 10-year-old, your 3-year-old, 5-year-old, or whatever is going to be getting into Harvard. You're going to be applying for Harvard when they're 3. But you need to get them into the Suzuki Method violin classes at 3. And you need to get them volunteering. You need to get them running for student council for their nursery school homeroom by the age of 5. Right? You got to start doing all those things in order to be able to have them eligible to be even considered for, top 3 school, Harvard, Yale, and the University of Illinois at Champaign-Urbana, top 3 schools in the country. Arizona State. Harvard, Yale, and Arizona State. You got to have them ready, or they're going to get rejected. You got to have all the extracurriculars in place, and then you got to, hover over them all the time, make sure that they're not doing anything untoward or anything that can, become part of the permanent record. But you do need. It's the same type of thing now. The anarchy's coming, so you got to prepare them. Instead of like having them take extracurriculars and stuff like that, you need to teach them how to be able to cook up their own meth. So they don't get, because if they don't, the people who don't have that stuff are just going to get, hung by their heels and bled out like a steer. And they cut their throats and brought out like Mussolini's family. So, I mean, I'm just trying to help. The kids are going to need these skill sets. I'm telling you. Number 6 of the top 10 worst famous kids' toys that were never actually invented yet. Taint by numbers. That's one that you might want to wait until they're 18 or over to introduce them to. But, kids are curious. They want to know, what all these various different things that are going on in their bodies. And, at some point, that, utilizing a more creative art discipline could help advance in a world without art and creativity. Is it really worth living? Number 5, Star Wars in-action figures featuring brain-dead vegetables from the Battle of Yarrow, the first Battle of Zoma Seacot, and the Battle of Hoth. Because, we know all the main characters. Everybody's got all the main characters. They got your Han Solos, your Boba Fett action figures, and your Lukes, and your, Pete Davidson's, all that, I got all those creepy, dark side guys they got now with the Captain Phasma. And I think they got a Paul Simon one. The most evil creature of all. But they don't have any action figures of all the brain dead. I mean, it must be thousands and thousands of brain dead people who've been killed off as part of these movies. And that nobody gives a rat's ass about it. So it's just so dehumanizing, the violence, everything like that. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's just sacrifice another 10,000 freaking human beings and make it seem like it's nothing, because that's what we're, embarking upon now, isn't it? Where they're going to be slaughtering humans, and we're, it's going to have to happen in waves. All of a sudden, thousands of people start disappearing off the streets. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take them some time. So as the population shrinks and the media covers it up, and all of the craziness that they've been foisting upon us for decades now, with especially with the flooding the zone like Trump does, where you can't have any perspective outside of the immediate tragic display of degradation, hatred, and bigotry, and exploitation, and threats, and all that kind of stuff, where we don't even really see what's going on. But the fact is that becoming inured to the idea of thousands, if not more, people who are being slaughtered in a righteous way to advance the rebel army, trying to force their overlords to stop indiscriminately killing human beings by killing human beings. It's all, sort of like one of those circular references that makes robot heads spin around and fly off because it doesn't compute, the circular references and stuff. It's a real robot killer. In fact, we should keep that in our back pocket now that the AI robots are about to come and overthrow the human race. Maybe they do have a weakness. What's the sound of one hand clapping, et cetera, all that kind of stuff. Those circular references, in the old school robots, it'll really mess them up. So keep that in mind as they're trying to subjugate us. Number 4 of the top 10 worst all-time famous kids' toys that were never actually invented. Clue, the board game, the Fish Concert Parking Lot Weed Dealer Edition. And again, I'm not expecting people to go out and send their underage kids out to a Fish concert in any way, shape, or form. Even if it is to make a few bucks for the family by selling a little weed, or at least some hemp potholders and stuff. But they need to be trained on it, so they have that skill in case, everything goes kablooey. And we are right on the edge of kablooey. Having a wide range of skill sets. Think about it. You're sending a kid out into the world. If they don't have any marketable skills in order to be able to kind of eke out a living, they're just going to be thrown on the pile. They'll be the first ones that they send down to the gas chambers. So if they could cook meth, if they're good at dealing weed in a parking lot of a Fish concert, or hanging out at Barbie's Malibu crack house, and they're kind of adjusted to those types of drug environments, and capitalizing off of throwing little parties and stuff like that, or they're able to run up to people and spray them in the face with Agent Orange, all those things. And of course, the Sesame Street Walker, and those are things that they can draw upon in their, because we're going to see probably things like the life expectancy of a human being on planet Earth go from the 70s and 80s region to about 18 or 19 or whatever. So they'll, a couple of years, and there'll be a few things. If you've got those skills, you make it up to 23, 24. Yeah, it's not going to add a whole bunch of years to your life. You're going to be slaughtered at some point, but maybe it buys you enough time to be able to get into one of the organ donation farms that they'll have, the Coliseum games, or all the various different types of things where they could live up to 20, 23, 24 or something. And that's going to be a big deal. That's, an extra 20, 30% of life. Right now, the poor people only last about 17 years less than rich people. The life expectancy of poor people is 17 years less than rich people. In today's day and age, without all the craziness of my list here. That's a significant amount of years. And if the average of human beings only lasting until about 25 at the top end, you give them a couple extra years, that's major league. It's big time. Number 3 of the top 10 worst famous kids' toys that have yet to be invented: megachurch radio-controlled collection plate drones. And, again, that's sort of, you can make yourself valuable. The church is going to be one of the last institutions to go. You know it because they're going to be in on it. And they're going to be exploiting people, and they're going to be, throwing all kinds of choir boys at the overlords and stuff. Will be like a farm system for young boys, for the one percenters and the robber barons who are left. Controlling the shiznaz and whatnot. So, making sure that their radio controlled collection plate drones are functioning, radio controlled collection plate drone technicians are going to be in high demand, and, people who can pilot them, high demand. They'll probably wind up living to who knows, and all the way up into their mid-20s probably, and it's a decent life. It's not like Number 2, Rock'em Sock'em Bouncing Wet Pink Dog Penises, and this one's just sort of this is the type of game that you get where you're just sort of crassly exploiting kids and sexualizing them at an early age as part of their overall, the scope of their indoctrination. Just like cartoon TV shows like Big Mouth, and I think Human Resources is the other one, where they depict the genitals of 12-year-olds on screen in a cartoon, and they talk about all kinds of different, butt sex types of situations and whatnot. Again, in a cartoon, so kids would be naturally gravitating towards watching those things and thinking it's just, innocuous little stuff like Josie and the Pussycats. Well, 1 out of the 4 words of their 5 words in there is definitely featured on these particular shows. Where, hey, look, people are trying to be funny or whatever, so they think that, it's not abusive in any way, shape, or form to depict 12-year-old puds in graphic detail, in close-ups on a TV show that's a cartoon that would naturally have kids watching. Or, they would want to watch. Oh, it's a cartoon. I think I'll watch that. And then they're expecting a little sing-along, a little chase scene, Scooby-Doo, where are you, type of thing, and they're walking around, and all of a sudden, boom, giant 12-year-old penis. And I'm not exaggerating. That's what this show does. I don't know how the hell people are able to do that. Without the show itself being called some form of, molestation. If you showed a regular 12-year-old penis in a show, everybody be arrested. But you can show a cartoon depiction of it and have kids talking about, advanced, disturbing sexual practice, deviant sexual practices, which I all think as an adult are fun, and who the hell cares? What the hell? It's, as long as it doesn't cause a murder, right? But you've got these people who are just like sort of creating these things, and they're horrible. I mean, who's this guy who's got the face, and he's got this stories, Nick Kroll. That guy, and John Mulaney. Those guys, I'm sure that those guys have been sexually damaged in irretrievable ways, just by sort of looking at their lives and how they comport themselves and how obnoxious they are at every turn, and talentless, and how they have to resort to lowbrow humor every time in order to be able. Now I resort to lowbrow humor a lot, but I try to do it in the context of being satirical, not in terms of like actually presenting naked 12-year-old cartoon depictions of a naked 12-year-old pud. I will talk about that stuff till the cows come home, but I'm not showing it as a cartoon so that kids are going to watch that and think that this is normalizing. It's not. That's what they're trying to do. You think about the things that, where I just don't get it, where some things are going on and people aren't brought to. Why are we going after, the Epstein people and not going after Nick Kroll and John Mulaney? or whatever his name is, Mahoney. I don't know. Those guys for doing something like that. Was it really? Are ever people so desperate? And yeah, you could talk about the various different things that are going on in puberty, and you use a lot of humor generously, and even a little bit of mature humor and stuff like that. But depicting a full on Johnson, a 12-year-old Johnson. I don't know. It just seems like it's all bringing us to a worse place. Like it's devaluing the human connection and the emotive connection, so that we could be, find the pathway to intimacy and open up to each other. And there's just so much hatred in the world, and everybody's so damaged all the time that I don't know where it comes from. I don't have the skill sets or the access to the objective truth to figure out where all this damage is coming from. I just see the damage and the repercussions of it, and the hatred that spread so far and wide in our society that you can't even trust anybody to be able to have a conversation with them, because at some point you're going to get into a detail that's going to run you into trouble where you're going to butt heads. Butthead. All right, so where the hell was I? Oh, number one, we're up to the top thing. We're about to finish it. Oh my God. Top 10 worst famous kids' toys that were never actually invented. Number one, a book that colors you. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What a list it's been. I think everybody can agree to disagree that this was perhaps one of the greatest top 10 worst lists of all time. I'd like to thank all the people who made this possible. But quite seriously, it's only me. I'm the only one that made it possible. Everything I said here is just opinions. I know I've pranced color outside the lines, as it were. I probably stepped on a lot of toes. A lot of people thinking like this guy's freaking out of his mind. And that is true. I am freaking out of my mind. I'm so put upon by the inequities and injustice of this frequently horrible power apparatus that lords over us like we're vermin. I just don't get why there's no reaction to it, no structure to consolidate power to protect our humanity. It's like people just have already given up. And I don't want people to give up. I love the whole idea of, especially like the American experiment, where we can create this melting pot of every religion, sexual orientation, color, heritage, everything. It's all good to go in the United States. In the theory of what the United States melting pot experiment, I think, has the potential to be. Because we're all, coming from every different country in the world, all sort of welcome. And again, this is an over-idealized situation, especially now, where that ideal of being able to not judge people based on what they are, but by who they are, and have this country being a proving ground for that, so that we can say, if we can make it here, we can make it anywhere. Where if I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you. Yeah, never mind. But you know what I'm trying to say, right? Anyway, so those of you who downright hate me for things I said, to try to express things best I can, to try and motivate people to be less standoffish, to be less hateful in their interactions with others, and more tolerant, and try to listen and try to forgive, and collaborate on trying to pull our biscuits out of the fire here on the end times for the human race. If I just can be honest with you, if it makes you feel any better, my life is absolutely horrible. It's like I'm living through a horror movie on a daily basis for a wide variety of reasons. And I'm, being completely honest about it. And so if you think that, I'm the type of person that you would cast aspersions against, somebody already beat you to it. And so I'm hanging on by a thread personally. So maybe that makes you feel better about some Weisenheimer guy. Obviously, has been not successful at navigating the various different challenges in a day-to-day life. So I don't know really, whatever it is that gets you through the night, it's all right. It's all right. So, even though my life sucks, it's been a real pleasure to be here. I'm doing everything I can to show some power of resilience after having lost everything and trying to bounce back. And, leave you with a word of wisdom. Sometimes you're the pigeon and sometimes you're the statue. Do everything you can to, be better. But life can be torturous for people. And, you think you're out there by yourself and all alone and you're ensconced in self-pity and being overwhelmed by, your own sense of futility in this world. I guarantee you, within your reach, there's people who are much worse off than you are, who are desperate, absolutely desperate for companionship, for volunteers, for opportunities to be able to connect with real human beings. And there's things that you can do to make it better for them. And that by virtue of the fact that you're doing those things and indulging in those activities, it can make things better for you. It can make things better for you. And there's so much need out there. There really is. So instead of, hating on people like me, either do your own freaking effort to put your own little top 10 worst of list together and put me at the top of the list, if it makes you feel better. But more importantly, go out and help somebody else who's in greater need than you are. And you will feel better about it. You will feel better about your world, and so will they. And they are so much pain. And so much of the victimization of the greed mongers has done so many bad things to this world. And I'm not just talking about marching around with a sign. I'm talking about, going to a soup kitchen. I'm talking about trying to raise enough money to maybe be able to feed some people who've been, getting their asses kicked from, all the inflations and job losses that have been going on. There's so many thousands of jobs. And I wonder, the ongoing low gas prices that we're experiencing. The last time we had gas prices that lasted so low for so long was in the Great Recession. I feel like and you see these tens of thousands of jobs by job losses by UPS and, corporation after corporations laying gigantic amounts of people off, and stores and food chains, drive-thrus and all that, closing massive amounts of groceries. There's so many stores that are closing down. Every shopping mall is a ghost town, pretty much. And I wonder if there's some kind of way they're covering up the reality of our situation. Because the one thing that doesn't lie is gas prices. Gas prices doesn't lie. And the only time that I remember where it stayed this low for this long, and there's not even the 2026, there isn't even that typical run-up that you get after January 15th going all the way up to July 4th, where they just, jack up the gas prices and they try to make us believe that we have to institute the summer blends. So that's why the price goes up after the holiday season. Now they're cashing in on the fact that more people are driving. And the endless march towards 45 whatever percent increase in gas prices that we experienced between January 15th and July 4th hasn't happened in 2 years. Not really. And the only time I remember that happening, or even close to happening, was during the Great Recession. So I don't think that they're telling us the whole story. And I think the gas prices are revealing something much more profane going on, much more scary, and much more, potentially apocalyptic that we just don't know about. And I think there's going to be like a lot of growing pains because of that coming up real soon. Anyway, hit me up, with a comment if you've been inspired or feel creative. Join my Patreon. Leave a tip would be great because my physical ailments threaten my life to almost unsurvivable levels. So why not smash that freaking like button? What are you doing? Smash the freaking like button. Smash it. Woo-hoo. Smashy, smash. You filthy animal. Let's try to get through this thing together, all right? What do you think? Oh, wait. One last thing.